Welcome to Season 7 of Paper Talk,
where we share stories about growing and thriving in your creative business.
I'm Quinn Nguyen of Pinkham Hosey.
I'm Jessie Chui of Crafted to Bloom.
And I'm Sarah Kim of Handmade by Sarah Kim.
In this season, we want to explore the evolution of an artist's journey and the growth and struggle of having a business.
Plus, we'll chat with other entrepreneurs and artists to uncover their keys to success.
So get ready to unlock the potential in your creative journey with us.
Before we dive into today's episode, Jessie, Quinn, and I have something exciting to share. If you've ever wanted more guidance, structure, and real-time support for your creative business,
then you're going to want to hear about Paper to Profits, the Mastermind. It's our signature mastermind experience where we'll be working directly with you to build, grow, and scale your creative business.
For creatives like you, whether you're just starting to take your artwork more seriously or you want to establish a strong brand presence, this is for you.
You'll meet with us every week for 6 weeks, get expert guest workshops, receive focused support, and the accountability you need to actually follow through.
We've designed this to be personal. No pre-recorded fluff. This is real-time help with a built-in community that gets what you're trying to build.
We want to give you our full attention, so we only have 24 spots. If this sounds like what you've been looking for, reserve your seat at papertalkpodcast.com. Now let's get into the episode.
Hello. Welcome back to another episode of Paper Talk. Today's episode is a hot seat with Jessie. What is your question that you want to ask myself and Sarah?
Okay. So lately, I've been uninspired to post anything on social media, especially Instagram. I don't really know what to post. I'm making things, but it feels like a struggle nowadays. It feels like a lot of work nowadays to put something on Instagram and yet have no guarantee of quote unquote return.
Yeah.
Not even return. All I ask is that my followers who actually like my work see my work. But there's no guarantee of that.
Yeah.
I don't need followers. I just want my followers to see my work because I know how much I'm craving seeing people. I follow them for a reason because I love their work, but I never see their work. So when there's like the lack of motivation really is my issue. So how do you guys deal with it? Because I know social media still is a very big component of running a business and hoping to be seen.
I would still use it to showcase my work. So even if it's not for views and if it's not for virality, like just still post your work. Because I know that we have our own website and like we still have our gallery, but I still think Instagram is still very much like your portfolio for like companies and like your students for your workshop. Like you still somehow take them to your Instagram. So I would still treat it to be a place where I showcase my work, even though you're like, there's like trends and there's like all these things that we have to follow. But I'm like, I'm not following that. I'm still going to put my nice photos on there. And I know that we always talk about, but we need personality. We need a little bit of us as an artist and all these extra things that come with it. But I would still use it to post your work. And if no one sees it, no one sees it. You'll see it eventually if you tell your students to go look at it.
That is 2 days later.
Yeah. Yes, so true. Yeah, Jessie, I would say do what is comfortable for you. I think that's so important to showcase. Because I feel like when I go on your Instagram, it's all about beautiful things I can look at. And I think that's the reason why I'm drawn to your Instagram account is I know that I will always get inspired by it. I just know that other people are looking at it and just being like, just amazed by your work. And I think you don't have to stick with videos. I think photos are amazing because you have beautiful prints that people should buy because it's just gorgeous. And you look at it, I'm like, I can't believe this is made out of paper. And what I do is I make paper flowers, but I still look at Jessie's work. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's amazing to see what you do. And just know that even though people don't say much, just know that you have a very deep followers that love your work and that wants to see what you're doing and is curious. I love going to your Instagram stories, even if you're not posting on your posts. I love seeing you walk your son to school every single day. That is like my regular things. If I jump on Jessie, I know I'm going to walk along with her son to school. And it just makes my day, to be honest. I love it.
Oh, that's so sweet.
I would say treat it like our Zenga days. I don't know if you guys were into that at one point. Zenga, it was just about, it was for you. It was for you to post your own stuff. And nobody commented on it and nobody counted how many followers you had or views or whatever. It was just a place where we posted our own stuff just for our own diary. I feel like in this day and age, oh gosh, Instagram and TikTok and whatever. We're trying so hard to please people, but at the end of the day, it's your account.
Mhm.
So,
And I think people don't want to be sold to every single day. There are moments in time where, as an artist, you have to sell products, but just to be able to share your work, your love of what you're doing, that's why we're all artists here. We love what we do. And to be able to share that love with our followers or with people that are just scrolling on Instagram, if they can catch something beautiful that you created and like it, woohoo! How often, I think I heard this somewhere, how often do you get a village of 100 people liking your stuff? I definitely don't get that in my inhuman, in-person thing where I have 100 people I love your stuff. That's so rare. And I think people lose the aspect of it, like 50 people. That's still a lot of people that is in one room liking your stuff. Just appreciate what you have and do it for yourself. Because the more happy you are, the more you're going to create things and the more inspired you'll be.
Yeah, I think you're right in terms of a portfolio. I just think about in person, if you were to introduce yourself to somebody, usually it's what's your Instagram handle? You can show your website, but your website isn't going to likely show your everyday work, right? It's probably going to show a specific type, maybe work that. I don't know about you, but I barely update my website. So it's probably from months ago. But Instagram is a good way of kind of tabulating what you've been doing over for real, right? Like your ongoing weekly, daily work. I suppose sometimes it's because as an introvert, I have nothing to say, especially with projects where I'm just exploring. Sometimes I do, but sometimes I don't, because that's why we make art, right? We're not writers. We're artists. That's how we express ourselves. And so I always envy people who are like really good with words, because the way that they can communicate exactly how they feel.
I have to stop you right there. I have to stop you right there, because I feel like of all the people I've known, you are the word spitter. Like, you can just, because I was thinking like all the things that we've created in the past, like you can just write copy. There's no business. It's just really amazing. Like, for example, Paper to Profit. I feel like someone had mentioned to it and they're laughing there. It's like reading your research paper.
I'm good at that. Like I can sit down and just like right away and it'll be very coherent. But I think the harder part is expressing your art. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Sometimes you're so in it that you're just doing it. There's no, explaining things. It's just, that's how you feel. And I suppose part of it is practice, because I realize the more practice you have at being in that kind of state of expressing yourself, it's easier. But there are days where I'm like, I don't know what to post. And yet I don't want to post crappy photos of what I'm doing. It takes effort to actually clear my desk and style something or put it against the wall where it doesn't have all these fingerprints on it. And good lighting's so important. I think that's what I struggle with, is like being motivated to do that. I completely still believe that if you don't show your work, no one's going to see it. So one way or the other, you have to find some sort of avenue to show that. I suppose people will see it like a couple days later, but I just don't want it to feel like a chore, like I did that. There's my weekly post. I wish it was more than that. I wish it was more like, I'm so excited to share this. And
I have a tip for you.
Community. And yes, go ahead.
So when you're feeling inspired, you know how we always talk about batch working? Write on your inspiration day and just batch work as much as you can and just save it up for when you feel bored and uninspired. You have this archive of great videos that you made when you were happy and ready to share everything.
Yeah, that's a good one. Totally should do that.
Just record a very long clip and then just cut it up.
I know, break it up
into smaller bits. Yeah.
I do that sometimes. I do cheat like that sometimes.
Yes.
I told you I was using my stories. Like I would post on my stories and I'll just post all my stories together.
You should. I loved it.
There are some people who, and those have tech, ironically, but there are some people who, like me personally, I do look at stories sometimes more than posts, because I've been finding that sometimes stories are so inspiring, seeing what are they doing every day. It's like a sneak peek into their life versus the reels. The reels are unpredictable. People post like different things. Some people post these things, tutorials. Some people post that. And sometimes it is kind of garbage. It is. I can't believe I spent 30 seconds watching, like, this didn't add to my life. But stories I find, because there are short clips, but they tend to be somewhat meaningful. People only post stories because personal. Yeah, something's happening that they're like, I want to share. It's like on the spot. So I've been finding that kind of, like you said, I was inspired when I posted on my stories and taking those snippets and putting them together. makes one easier. It's like double duty.
Yeah.
But secondly, like you said, it was an inspiring moment. I have something to say. So yeah, no, that's a good reminder.
Okay, I have another tip for you. So I haven't noticed that you have a channel on Instagram. Do you have one,
I do not
Jessie?
know.
Okay.
No.
So I think you should do one because I think your followers needs to hear you directly. It's like a great microphone that's target to people that are interested. Now their functions in the channel is so great. You can put in polls. You can ask questions. People can put a little in stories. You can say, ask a question. And then you get these little boxes that says, so I've been asking them, like, what flowers do you want me to teach? What techniques are you most interested in learning from me? So that way I can prioritize because it's been vocalized. And then that gives me like a jumping point to, oh, someone wants this from me. And it makes me want to create that content.
Oh, that's so cool.
I just started one too because I didn't have one before. So I took it like as if, because it's like a whole nother thing to worry about. Right? There's a story, there's a reel, there's a post, there's whatever. Okay. Anyways, the channel, I treat it like your newsletter. So it's like extra targeted to people that are more serious about following you. And you can link things. I know it's like a whole nother thing to like keep up with because if you don't keep up with it, then people are like, why am I on here?
So question, what do you post on your channel that's the same or different from reels and stories? Do you multitask?
Almost the same to me, but a little bit more details to me. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's how I treat it.
Okay, so I did a really fun thing that got a lot of involvement was I asked people what they were making. And I didn't tell them, but I ended up doing it like a raffle. And I just picked whoever did the prettiest one because you can pick a winner of the answers that they give you. And then I just sent them a pair of scissors and some crepe papers and glue as thank you for involving it. And it just got a lot of traction. The people in the feed can see other people work because usually on the channels, audience don't really get to be involved in it as much. And it was a way to vote on who got the best likes because each of the person, the photo that they submitted, everyone can like it. And so I just picked whoever got the most and I just sent them a little gift.
Cool.
Nice. Recently, like I had this whole, I don't know, moment where I was like, maybe I need to do like an online course for doing templates. So like how to make SVG files or just files in general. It's very specific and tech related. And I have yet to do like a real tutorial on it on YouTube because it's a lot of information and it's very niche, right? Like it's a very specific type of person that would want to learn that. So I didn't really put it out in the public. But anyways, all that to say, I just wanted to know my specific followers that are serious about following me, who also follows me on my channel. I would ask them a specific question like that because I really want to know like the truth. If I did this class, would they do it? Whereas like I'm at like 100K people following me, like nobody really cares. I feel like the more followers you have, they don't care. They just want to see, or they enjoyed seeing something and they followed me. Great. I'm grateful for that. But the people that are like serious about, why they're following me or what I want to know from the followers, I guess, you would be more specific in that channel. I asked the question on my stories too, but I do think like the answers I get from my channel would be a lot more serious. So if we were to talk about Paper to Profit, I would think it's more specific if it were to be on our channel to know if people are interested or what they are looking for in a course or next time on our episode or whatever. It would be like more specific. Yeah.
That's a great idea. We should start a channel for Paper Talk podcast.
We're going to do this. Okay. I'm in charge of Instagram, so I'll open the channel up and get questions. And yes.
Okay. I will definitely Google this because I'd be interested in hearing like the best research really is joining other people's channels to see what they're doing. I believe I am on one or two channels, not that active, but it'd be interesting seeing the different usage of the channels depending on what your account is about. I don't want to say what you're selling, but it is what you're selling versus with tutorials. I feel with video tutorials, I feel like I have a process for that, although I want to improve it. But my main challenge right now is selling products, which I've never had to in the past because I've always done commission work. But because now I hold off on commission work and I'm not taking that many, I want to do my own thing and be like, okay, I have time to do this. So here it is. So how do you sell that? And part of it, I think my struggle is because a lot of my followers want to learn from me and they are interested in my products, specific ones. And it's just because you're offering it doesn't mean that they want it. I'm at a point where I want to build out more people who like my work to buy it, not to learn from me. And that's a completely different target market. And so I'm a little bit struggling with how to deal with that without obviously alienating my current followers who, want to learn from me versus want to buy from me, because they're obviously very different. There's overlap.
I know this sounds really weird, but like my plant, I train them to be my plant. I know that's like really silly, but I almost think like you train your audience to follow you for you. I mean, they don't own you. Not that you own them, but this is my channel and this is my platform. So it's, even if you're going to transition into selling or teaching or a whole nother thing, like a lifestyle thing, then I think there is going to be a transition, but you can totally do that. It's your channel, and I think you just need to train them. Train them to be like, you're like, okay, this is what I'm up to now. So here it is. Yeah. That sounds really silly, but I always tell everybody I train my plants to be thirsty because they're never going to get water from me. I'm never watering them.
That's so funny.
That's so true. It's a reminder that it takes time, right?
It does.
It takes time to do these things. And I can't just be like, oh, next day I want to do this or I'm offering this. And you expect people to jump on that. That won't happen. But
yeah.
But Instagram is important still. So I feel like you cannot ignore it. Yeah. And it's still free, technically. I know you put a lot of time into it. So it's not free because we put our time into it and we don't get paid for it. It's like free labor, but it's important. Yeah. I feel like I got so much opportunity in so many different ways to sell, to teach, to get partnerships. And so I feel like people find you through Instagram. I don't know. So I do think at the end, it is still important and it is technically free way to market whatever you're trying to sell.
For sure.
I don't think you have to stress out about making reels or like following the trends. Like I genuinely, as a consumer, I don't like it when people post like wasteful content. Like I'm like, oh, I can't believe, like you said, like I just wasted 30 seconds of my life for watching this reel. I don't like them. Yeah, I do like purposeful content. So I do tend to gravitate something that I learned from, even if it's like fashion related. I do want to learn a tip about how to wear or like what to buy on a cute fall outfit or something like that. Rather than just, I actually don't like if we're picking on like a fashion content creator, like I don't like it when they're just showing me like, I don't know, a staged photo that doesn't look realistic. I actually want it to be like, oh, realistically, you can find this and you can find an affordable version of this or like some kind of tip and trick.
Yeah.
I feel like
we wanted to take a quick break to talk about something that keeps coming up in our DMs and emails.
Many of you have told us you're not confident about your business. You're doing the work, but the growth just isn't happening the way you hope.
That's why we created Paper to Profits, the mastermind. It's not just a business strategy, it's about mindset, visibility, pricing with confidence, and building an art business that's sustainable and personal to you.
We pulled together the best of everything Sarah, Jessie, and myself have learned across workshops, collaboration, course creation, speaking, and sponsor partnership.
You'll be surrounded by a small group of creatives on the same path. You'll get actionable feedback and the support you need.
If you're listening to this and nodding thinking, that's what I need, head to papertalkpodcast.com to learn more. We'd love to have you with us.
All right, back to the show.
Yeah, I do still think it needs to be like meaningful, whatever.
For sure. Authentic. I know the worst ones are like where they have a really attractive hook and then you watch it and then you're like let down. Yeah, because I'm like, this is...
Or I really don't want 2-second videos and it just had a bunch of text, but it's like replaying because...
Oh yeah, those are horrible.
They're trying to play with the algorithm. And I'm like, and then after I read all the text, I'm like, wait, that was it? Yeah. Or like just trending. I know that everybody uses like trending styles, but I don't know, for us as artists, like we're also very like visual people and we don't put content out there that feels just random just to follow the trends. Yeah. We're like that. I would assume like the three of us, but there are people out there that they just want to get viral and do what's trendy. But yeah, I feel like
we want to serve our community.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure. And it's weird because I think part of it is the things that we make take so long, so much thought, so much effort. And yet to reduce it to a 15-second reel, it's just not authentic. Just not. It's just gratuitous. I think it reduces our art to something as a reel. It's just a reel. And I don't think that's what my audience or myself, I don't think that's what I want to see.
I actually like photos more because of that.
I can stare at them. Like I can literally stare at them and examine them. It's like it's art. It's like going to an art gallery where you're like standing in front of something beautiful and looking over it over and over again. The worst videos and I'm guilty of making this sometimes too, is where, you've got people showing flashes of their homes for 2 seconds and there's like 10 of them. And then you have to rewatch it. And I'm like, it doesn't satisfy me because I want more, but I want more of the one thing. I don't want more of 10 things. I want to see more of it. And that I find incredibly frustrating. I don't know what it is with the algorithm. Maybe the algorithm loves it because people have to rewatch it over and over again.
Right.
But for me, I'm like, man, it tricked me. Like it's a word. I don't even know how to say it, but it tricked me into watching it. And I feel like gypped. Does that make sense? I feel gypped because I can't fully appreciate the beauty of it. I can only get a glimpse of it. And I don't want to offer that. I don't want to offer that to my audience. And I think it's completely unfair to expect. It's completely unfair for a platform to do that to us.
Yeah.
And have that, right? Because now I feel like I've been trained to see moving pictures. I've been trained. The algorithm, TikTok, I don't watch TikTok because it's too much, but even Facebook is the same thing as Instagram. It just tricks us into just watching video after video, and there's no stillness. There's no focus.
I got back into posting photos in a sense because, I don't know, someone posted somewhere saying, put a story carousel like that. So it's a bunch of pictures after another, like a slideshow, but it has like a story. So I just literally posted one recently, and it was like the process of me making my giant mushrooms. And I don't know what it was. To me, I was so proud of it. I don't know how well it performed or not, like in the engaging through the social media, but I loved seeing that. I love that I started from somewhere, and it's like the photos in between, they're not like the best looking photos, but it was truly my process in the moment. I just took my phone and took a picture. It was not like curated. It was just whatever was on top of my desk. And then to get to the last carousel and see the end result. But I love that like process behind it. And I would love to see your process of even putting a beautiful flat lay for your like images and stuff like that. Or it doesn't have to be a tutorial on how to make a flower, but like the process, I don't know, that's even like artsy to me to see the pieces that aren't technically, and then it turns into your last image. I mean, I would say you can start totally from there, forget the whole reel. But I actually posted that on TikTok too. And it was just a carousel. And they say there's like a market for that in a sense. There's a target audience that would enjoy that.
Yes. Right? Like I would enjoy that. I get to control what I see. I get to control how much time I spend on it, right? Versus someone else telling me, no, you only got 2 seconds.
Or not to have the perfect curated photo, because I'm always worried about that too. I just want the best looking photo that's going to make it on my Instagram or whatever. But I think because of the whole carousel idea, I was like, oh, then I can totally throw in some photos in between that I don't really care about. I do care about,
and
but
tell
like,
the story.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's important, but it's maybe you don't want it as your thumbnail or
I think we definitely want to see you do that, Jessie.
Yeah,
with your process behind even building a like arrangement and things like that, like from start. It doesn't have to be like start to finish, but like where it first started, and some pieces in between. And I'm sure you have some photos of that. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw a glimpse of it in stories where you showed a messy thing. You talked about it. So you need more of that.
With messy pictures.
You should do a carousel of messy things, and then hopefully that'll start a trend. Other people messy things. And
are we going to start a trend?
Real life.
Exactly.
What's on your desk? My desk is
my desk is a mess. Oh, yes. All right. Life hacks. Let's do a life hack on inspiration. How do you draw inspiration?
I get inspired by what I read. Usually it's through books. I realize that. But I've always loved reading, and so reading nonfiction or fiction tends to inspire me. I don't know. Either it's something that a character is doing or something that I'm learning. I find that inspires me to approach the projects in a different way and to think about my art in a different way. And I realize that's essentially what a lot of, for example, concept artists do, right? They have a concept in their mind. They're inspired by probably something they learned about, and then they convert it into or express it through art to explore those concepts. I'm not a conceptual artist. that really isn't me, but I still get inspired by things that happen in a book that I learned from a book, or just because I think people, when they write down their opinions or how they see the world, it changes the way I see my world. And so it helps me make those connections between different things that happen in my life or that happen in other people's lives. And I find that has been really inspiring in my work. And it speaks to why I'm doing what I'm doing. And to be honest, also, it's something reliable to lean, right? To know that you can always be inspired by picking up a book and learning something from it or seeing the world in a different way. I think that really helps as well.
How about you, Sarah?
I do feel like the most motivated, or I don't even know like the feeling, but when I learn something just new in general, like I get really encouraged and I'm like, oh, this is how students feel. I like the older we get, where I feel like I just want to do what I'm used to or what I already know. But then when I learn something new, even if it has nothing to do with paper flowers, it weirdly gets me inspired and motivated to push myself for something else that could be paper flower related, but something that I was stuck. And then it pushes me to do something more. And I think that's the idea behind just learning. It makes you, I don't know, want to be better. Whereas you can just be stuck in your own ways and make the same flower over and over. Like for me, it's the rose or the peony. I'm like always just stuck making the same way. Although there's so many different peonies and so many different roses out there. Like you just get used to what you make. But okay, how can I get outside of that box? I think I like to go learn something. Right now, I'm in this I just went to a sourdough workshop where I learned how to make sourdough, and it's seriously so hard. And that's also like another like appreciation that I also have. Like when I learn something new, I'm like, I feel so appreciative of people that go and bake and learn how to make bread so that we could eat bread. Because there's so much work that goes into it. Yeah. So the same way when I come back into my workspace and I'm like, oh, like, how can I be that, right? Like, how can I be someone that makes paper flowers that could also inspire like other people and show that, yeah, I put in so much work in my paper flower as much as a baker puts in that much effort into their bread. I don't like it in the moment because I get all like anxious. So I totally understand now, like my students, also another way to learn that what kind of teacher you can be, because I'm like, always complain about my students, like when they're like, what's the next step? And I'm like, I just said the step, like right now. All that to say, when I go to a workshop, I'm that student. I'm the one who's, now I can't complain. I think to be a good teacher, you need to be a student. Yes.
Yeah, that is so true.
To be better, you have to like learn more.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Writing on what Sarah says, my thing is I like to do something or learn something new every single day. So I have a little notebook that I keep track and jot ideas down when I have some downtime. And then when I'm feeling unmotivated, I just pick it up. And I was like, oh, what's interesting? What did I thought was interesting a while back that I could learn or research or read something really quick to get me challenged again? I think that's the main thing. How can I challenge myself to learn something new every single day? And I found that to be really great because you have to start at zero at some point. And how can you improve upon it is that you just have to learn and do things more and more. And then you'll get good at it at some point down the road. Could be tomorrow, could be 10 years, it could be 20 years. That's the goal, is to be as well-rounded. You only have one lifetime. And that lifetime, I always ask, what imprint do you want to make to the people around you? And what legacy do you want to leave behind? Because I don't have any kids, but I'm an aunt. And hopefully I'll be a great aunt and the fun one that I can show them like, hey, did you know you could do this and this? So yeah, that's what I do to get myself inspired and motivated. I think a little bit beyond what I'm doing right now.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Thank you so much, everybody. I hope this episode was insightful. And we have done all the hot seats for each of us and was wondering, do you want to be on the hot seat? Message us with a question. Maybe we'll get you on here and we can answer your hot seat question with us. All right. Till next time.